McGregor Brown.
So I gather it's not your first time staying with us.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning, another early flight. Today I'm going from here in Florence, Italy to Brussels in Belgium, and then I'm driving over the border into France. And along the way I'm going to give you my tips for flying, driving, and lodging in Europe. Basically, these are my Europe travel tips. I'm calling a taxi. And at the airport, grazie, ciao. Something to keep in mind with taxis, you don't need to tip. What they say on the meter is the price you pay. When you get in there, read the meter. Also ask for the special rate to the airport, or ask that they use the meter to go by the meter. And to be certain that you're not going to overpay, ask how much it's going to cost to get to that destination. Another thing, in Italy, unfortunately, we do not have Uber, so you're gonna have to rely on taxis for the most part. In other European countries, some of them do have Ubers, but don't count on it. And look at this, on the boards at the airport, the departure times, they're not ordered alphabetically by the city, they're ordered by the time in which the airplane will depart. And that was one of the first things that got me when I first came to Europe. I was a little bit confused by that. Actually, it makes more sense. Instead of first looking for your city, be on the lookout for the time of your departure. Unlike in the United States, there aren't many food options at the smaller airports, and even sometimes at the bigger airports. In the US, I know that there are restaurants, everything you can want in the airport. So when you come to these smaller airports like Florence, your options may be limited. Luckily, I got the Sala VIP, which is the lounge. Florence Airport, like many of these airports, have these great little lounges, and luckily I upgraded to the Priority Pass, and they have that in the United States. It's all over the place and allows you access to these lounges, all the food you want, and a quiet place to relax before your flight. Now, if you're not part of a membership program, don't worry, because some lounges allow you to pay for access. So it could be anywhere from 30 up to 60 euro, depending on the lounge. Just ask at the entrance of the lounge and you may be able to get access. Everything you need, look at this, water, juices, all sorts of food in this buffet here, even some wine at the end, Italian wine of course, alcohol over that way, but I'm gonna go with the coffee this morning. I went with the double cappuccino. One cappuccino just didn't seem enough. Let's be honest, the coffee's not that great in the Florence Airport lounge. Grazie. Ciao. Now, another thing I noticed in European airports, unlike the US airports, there is less staff available. So if you need to ask an airport like that, when you find someone, grab them and get their attention and ask them everything you need to know. Most are just as friendly and willing to help though, and many do speak English, although here in Italy, not as much as in the northern countries like France, like Belgium, or the Netherlands. Another thing to keep in mind is when you're boarding the flight from the ground like this, pay attention to your seat number, because you can board from the back side of the plane or the front side of the plane. You see the flight here today has the stairs going up the back side and the front side. I'm in seat 5A, so I'm gonna take the front stairs. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Brussels Airlines, super nice. They just let me move up here to the front row, business class. There was no one here, and now I have plenty of leg room. On these short inner Europe flights of 1 hour up to 2 hours, keep in mind they may not be serving food, or if they do serve food, the options are very limited. Many of the budget airlines, they only offer food for pay, so you have to pay for any food options, and you can do so with your credit card even though we're up here in the air. Don't ask me how they're getting the connection. Some of the flights, they give you little sandwiches, a little bottle of water for free, so maybe be on the lookout for that, but don't expect it. And you might be hearing all the announcements in several different languages and wondering, are they gonna say this in English? Yes, often they do. On today's flight, they're announcing things in French, in Italian, and finally in English, and that's the case on most European flights. They'll usually get to English at the end. So be on the alert, listen for anything you need to know. Bye, see you later. Travel light, travel far. That's a great phrase to live by. I can remember some of my first trips to Europe and some of my friends' first trips from the United States to Italy. They would bring these big, massive bags that looked like they were going on a 1-month trip when they'd only be coming over for 5 days. Even on this 3-night, 4-day trip, I just have this one carry-on and my backpack behind me. In this instance, I don't even need to wait at the baggage claim. I'm just ready to go. Also bear in mind, when you get to Europe, the sidewalks aren't as big and wide and smooth as they are in the United States. So you're gonna have a hard time pulling that luggage across town. So yeah, travel light as possible. And wouldn't you know it, I'm right here by a luggage store. Rolling luggage. I'm going with Rimowa. That's my preferred roller right now these days until I beat it up and throw it out. That was an early morning flight. Coffee to the rescue. This airport is pretty well stocked. There's a Starbucks. There's even a Dunkin' Donuts over that way. How many of you love Dunkin' Donuts? Drop some comments down below. Let me know if you're Dunkin' Donuts lovers. I don't eat donuts often, but I do love coffee. And just an update, in Belgium, you don't have to wear a mask anywhere now, and that includes here at the airport. And that's the case also in France and the Netherlands and Germany, where I was recently. But in Italy, you still have to wear a mask, and that includes inside in the airports and when you go inside shopping centers. My name's Brown.
You have a reservation, right?
I always use Sixt. This is the place to come. There are other car rental places like Hertz, like Europe Car, like Avis. My recommendation is to go to some websites like Booking, like Kayak, or directly to the website and see the best deals that you can get. Right now, she's helping me out with my car and promises me an upgrade. Bye. So nice. I usually go the full to full option. So you pick it up with a full tank of gas, return it with a full tank of gas. Also, I have my own hire car insurance that I buy annually, and that covers me for every rental car that I have throughout the year. It used to be called Questor, but I think they changed their name now. Haha, I remember. Now it's called Riverside. So check them out for annual hire rental car insurance. If you're doing a lot of rental cars, also in the United States, you save a lot of money. You don't have to deal with the hassle at the checkout counter of pricing out the different insurance options. Hello. Wow, wow, look at that car there. That's an M850. It's practically a race car. Europe is the same as the United States. Be a frequent flyer. That means get into the loyalty programs for the rental car companies, for the airline companies, because they reward you. The more you fly with them, the more you hire or rent cars from them, the more upgrades you're going to get in return, and the more familiarity you have with the company and they have with you, and that pays off. Look for the nearest airport wherever you're going, and that may not be in the country of the city of your destination. In my case today, I am flying into Belgium and going over the border into France, driving over the border because that was the nearest location.
Is 1 hour and 25 minutes.
That's right. So from here at the airport in Brussels, I have a 1 hour and 20-minute drive over the border into France, into this little town called Denain. I'm up here for the Paris-Roubaix bike race. Now, the same case when last weekend I had to go to the Netherlands. I flew to Dusseldorf because Dusseldorf was the closest airport to Maastricht, where I needed to go in the Netherlands. Here in this little small French village of Denain, I just drove over the border, and in fact, you didn't even notice it as a small border crossing. It's super easy to drive from Belgium into France. There are no special controls or anything like that. So once you're in Europe, crossing borders like that, you don't have to show your vaccination card or anything. I got my accreditation, so I'm good to go for tomorrow's race. My other bit of advice is book in advance. Make sure to reserve your car in advance, reserve your hotels in advance. Now, sometimes I don't do so. If I'm on vacation, I can remember when I was traveling around Vietnam, I would book hotels day to day because I wanted to change my plans. But if you know where you're going to be, if you're traveling through Europe, sometimes it pays, especially in the high seasons. I want to show you something. Look at that. That is one ugly church. I mean, it's really a shame, but that church had all of its stained glass windows missing. It might have been beautiful back in the day at one point, but it certainly isn't now. I must say, northern France is not one of my favorite places in Europe, but unfortunately, that's where this bike race is, Paris-Roubaix. Call ahead. That's another tip for you. Some of these smaller hotels, the reception's not there past 7 p.m., past 8 p.m., and if you show up late, you may find yourself not being able to check into the room. I've had that happen before with friends, and they've had to sleep in their car. The other thing is if they even have a reception that's 24 hours, they may have a great restaurant
so you may be able to book and reserve a spot at the table and have your dinner there at the hotel too. If it's a great hotel, you might want to do that. Finally got here to the hotel. This is the beautiful hotel. I'm in Lille, which is a nice city, especially when the sun is shining. Everybody's out at the bars, enjoying the sun, sitting out on the terraces, drinking beer. I did connect with this hotel about 2 weeks ago to make sure I had a parking spot reserved. So that's another reason you want to reach out to the hotel in advance to make sure everything's situated and you got a spot for your car as well.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Gregor Brown.
So I gather it's not your first time staying with us.
Floor 2, please. One other thing to consider at hotels in Europe, unlike in the United States, not all the hotels are equipped with elevators. This guy's nice enough to let me vlog. Sorry about that. Another thing to consider, make sure your room has air conditioning, because in Europe, not all the rooms have air conditioning. Is that right?
That's right.
So sometimes in the hot summer months,
Understand?
au revoir, thank you. Sometimes in the hot summer months, you may find yourself into a hotel that doesn't have air conditioning. So check in advance, make sure you're sure when you do the booking that it has air conditioning and everything you need, including like things like a hair dryer and of course an elevator, especially if you have a lot of bags and you're traveling with something like your bicycle. This room could definitely use some air conditioning. What are your travel tips? Do you have anything that you could add to this list? Or how does traveling in the US compare to Europe? Drop some comments down below. Let me know if you think there's anything I missed as well. Also, have you ever been to this part of northern France or in Belgium? Drop some comments. Also, if you got value out of this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. That helps with all the analytics and helps the channel grow. And if you have not yet subscribed, make sure you click that subscribe button right down there and do so. But basically, those are my Europe travel tips, at least some of them. You learn many over the years, and it is super easy to get out there and travel, as I think you saw today. The summertime is coming, all the COVID regulations, they're easing, and it's the perfect time to travel.